This is Gregory McDowell, and I would like to welcome you to another episode of Harsh Realities Unplugged. I'm sitting here enjoying the evening. I went out and I worked all day. That's a part of life. If you don't work, you don't eat. There was in my time when I wouldn't work in an ice cream factory tasting ice cream. But ever since I've made a choice to change my life, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for me to get by. You see, I did whatever it took for me to survive on the streets. I lied, I cheated, I stole, I manipulated, I deceived. I even shed blood when I had to. See, that's what happens when you're dwelling in the jungle. You're like an animal running from a predator. You never know when someone is going to eat you up. You're always looking over your shoulder. You're always peeping around corners. I'm sitting here and I'm smiling to myself. I don't have to sleep in trees anymore. I used to have to sleep in trees because everybody was looking for me. I either ordered them, I either crossed them, beat them, finessed them, or tricked them some kind of way. And I couldn't take a chance of being on the ground. So what I would do, I would climb up in a tree, take my belt off my pants, wrap it around me and around a tree branch, and tie it and fall asleep. People would see me coming out of the tree, but, they just didn't know. I was in that tree all night long, sleeping. That's one of the things that I took myself through. I want to be in the world so bad, And when I went out into the streets, I had to be no older than about 15, And I was lured by, the easy money, the cars, and all that other stuff. You know how it go. It seemed glamorous. I was seduced and romanced all at the same time. And once I got out there, I didn't realize that there were stages that I had to go through. And as I went through each one of these stages, it never dawned on me that I was losing my innocence with each stage. I was becoming a part of that darkness that I was dwelling in. And when I realized that that wasn't the place for me, it was too late because I was already consumed. You see, not only was I dwelling in darkness, but I was a part of that darkness. That's why it was so hard for me to break free on my own. It didn't want to let me go. It had me right where it wanted me, And each time I contemplated on changing my life, walking in a different direction, something would always come up to keep me stuck where I was stuck at. It was hard. It was very hard. I even thought about committing suicide. And I was all prepared, And for some strange reason, that night, the train wouldn't come. I had them went out and laid on the train tracks, and, I was just ready to end it all. And I knew 2 o'clock in the morning, the train ran, because that's how I used to keep time in the wee hours of the morning, by the train running on the tracks. But for some strange reason, the train wouldn't come. So I got up, went on about my business, and of course, I went and got high. But I share that with you to show you that the darkness, it don't just want you, it wants you dead. It wants to destroy you. It wants you to die in that mess, And God saved me that night. God spared me. It's one thing that I truly can say. God watched over me the whole 26 years I was out there dwelling in that darkness, man. You know, I'm sitting here right now and I'm talking, but 26 years, that's a long time, man. That's over 2 decades and a half. You know, that's a long time for somebody just to be wasting their life doing nothing. You know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't smart. I wasn't slick. It wasn't by my doing that I survived. I'm aware of that. You know, when I give God his praise every day, you know, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because I know there's some people out there going through some things. You know, I know there's some people out there that's being hindered by whatever you're hindered by. But I just want you to know you can bounce back. You know, you can stand back up on your feet again. You know, you can get back on the right track. And I want to say this here, man, because it's very dear to my heart, man. You know, if you know somebody out there, man, that's an addict, using drugs, please don't look down on them. Pray for them. You know, I'm not saying that you got to invite them in your home. I'm not saying that you got to socialize with them, but they people too. And what you got to understand is they have a problem. They don't want to be where they at, you know, but they just can't get free. So the next time you run across somebody like that, pray for them, man. God bless you. I love you. This is Gregory McDowell. Stay strong.